Welcome engineers, the races have a problem, and today's problem gets through the British Grand Prix in the F2 career mode of mine. My mic is for some reason not in the same correct position again, if you remember from last episode. I won't include a clip.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind
but
ourselves
here we are, just looking
the
at practice,
three,
and 7 tenths off, and
that concludes
we'll get within 20
points
of King, who is right there with us in practice. So let's just hope that he backs off in qualifying like he did in Austria. So here we are in qualifying for the British Grand Prix. Hopefully this is a good one because we only need a first, and that will give us enough points in the actual championship to get past King. But as we go through the final sector for our first flying lap of the session, we're going to go through the chicane. Braking at the right point, go on that curb. You don't really want to go on that curb, although I have gone on it. Going through the final corner, don't get on that red curb, it will spin you out. You get first position as we finish sector 2 now on our second flying lap. We have pole position with Hubert, Matsushita, Aiken and Joe being right there. You lose the rear end just a little bit, and it's lost 2 tenths of time on our lap. We get on the curbs, but not the red part of the curb. We go across the line to set our second lap. Obviously not an improvement. And then as the skies get really grey, I don't think we'll improve on our laps. So, but we're gonna just do it anyway because, yeah, why? Don't blame me. I am. Why should I not? So we're just gonna come across the line with our 7 tenths different, and it's gonna be the end with some XP points, and hopefully we can get to the level 8 by the end of this weekend and hold by less than a tenth.
Which are the Engineer,
okay,
and
and now we just need to get 16 more points, and then Jordan King, who starts 17th. So yeah, we just need to get 5th, to be honest, at 3rd. But here you go to the commentators.
Welcome to Silverstone, one of the staples of the Formula 2 Championship. It's a firm favourite amongst fans and drivers alike, and we're all keen to see what it has in store for us in today's race. 5 miles out from Toaster, this icon of British motorsport heritage comprises 18 corners over 3.6 miles of circuit. Silverstone has been through several changes over its lifetime, with the start line now leading into Abbey, a fast right-hander for turn 1. But still there, of course, is the circuit's most famous and iconic sequence of corners, starting at Maggots, turn 10. Joining me today in the commentary box is former 2012 GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi. We all know the circuit so well, Davide. What's got your attention today?
Always a pleasure, Alex. Everyone looks forward to Silverstone, and with such an intriguing grid, I think the fans will be excited for the start of today's race. We know these young drivers are hungry to prove themselves. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some more history being made today.
Here is the grid for today's race, which will be starting shortly. The Engineer lines up on pole position, and starting alongside is Antoine Hubert. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Matsushita, Aitken, Guan Yu Zhou, and Giotto, Boccalacci, Tete Camara, Schumacher, Juan Manuel Correa, Ilott, Latifi, Sean Galea, and Calderon, De Vries, Alesi, King, and Nikita Mazepin. Delatraz, Mahavir Raghunathan starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
And before you go moaning me at the comments, I do realise we would need to actually get 2nd, not 3rd. I was just saying that if we get 3rd, we are most likely getting in the points in the 2nd race. But as we get ready for the 5 lights now, we have the engine, it's lights out and away we go. Getting a better start than previous lap previously have ridden. Hubert gets past us, but Racengineer is on an outside, so we're going to keep our foot in, and we're going to get past Racengineer again, and then we're going to go to the inside of there, into the third corner, to regain first position from 20th, and now we just got to plough on and get away as far as we can, and just control this race, because it seems like we can do that as Joe and Aiken battling as their gaps change. And it was a pretty boring race. Hubert did get away, but then I did get away, and then Hubert closed in, but I did get the fastest lap, so that'll be 27 points. I'll be ahead of Jordan King by 7 points, but hopefully if we can just stay in the points in the next race, we can increase that 7-point gap. And first, well done us, and well done Dorian Boccolacci for getting driver of the day. But I'm going to hand you over to the podium celebrations now.
Great work from the Trident team. They take a famous win here today. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
This race, this win, was about one thing and one thing only: consistency. Anyone can be quick for just one lap, but there's a difference between that and being quick every lap, over and over and over. If you can do that, if you can gain ground when your opponents make mistakes, but then not make mistakes on your own, you can just push and push.
It's the part we've all been waiting for, the podium finish, and it's probably one of the more unexpected finishes in a while. Trident take the victory, and Trident have made huge strides within F2 recently, and today proves that they're not only still in the race, but they're in it to win. Congratulations to everyone on the team.
So there we go, getting our 4th victory of our entire career. And yeah, feel like we are making strides into Formula 1 through this championship. As we get 2000 XP, we just need to get 600 XP in the next race, the sprint race.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the driver's tape.
And we have first by 11 points.
And so, driver of the day,
due
Davide Valsecchi,
to...
who do you think you'd go for?
My driver of the day was Dorian Boccolacci. He did a cracking job of moving through the field. Just a very good race.
16 points. Yeah, that makes sense. I was 16 points ahead of, behind John King. That's why I am now 11 points ahead of him. So let's just see if we can maintain that gap going into the next race, which I did look at the weather forecast. It will be wet, so as I get ready for a wet sprint race, I'm going to leave you with the race highlights of that race, whilst also looking where Jordan King is. But here are the race highlights.
Welcome back for the final event of the weekend, the sprint race. Here, the top 8 from yesterday's feature race are reversed to make up the grid below us, and in just a few minutes, those drivers will be hurtling down into turn 1. I'm Alex Jakes, and alongside me in the dry confines of the commentary box, former 2012 GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi. Tyre choice is important no matter what the conditions are, Davide, but do you see it having more significance today?
Oh, you know it will, Alex. Remember that in Formula 2 there are not intermediate tyres, so deciding when to switch to the wet compound can have a massive impact on the race and your strategy. Nothing tests driver skill like the wet. I'm looking forward to see what they can do.
And here we are on the grid for the Britain sprint race. It is raining, so don't expect me to do too well. I expect to drop about 5 positions in this race. I'm not sure which one I preferred best. Let's get ready, get going. Dropped 4 positions. Get back past Latifi and Galeo. Didn't quite realise Galeo was on the outside of and we have front wing damage. That's my fault for being opportunistic. We get past Correa to get back, get up to P9, not back to P9. I was only in P10, but Correa's on our inside now. Turn 5. We're gonna elevate down towards Brooklands. He's still on our inside, but we make sure that he stays there. That he doesn't stay there. I don't know what I'm talking about. But as I go wide later on in that lap, Correa gets back past us, and now Eilert is going to have a chance of getting past us as well. We then defend, but he backs out, which is lucky for us. And now can we see if we can chase down Correa? I've just realised I should have said back to P9, but we've lost the rear end. Now De Vries gets past on lap 4 or 5. Quite a boring race. At 5 to 5, we dropped 3 positions in this race. Not really going to call it drifting, because it weren't. Quite an annoying race, this one. In the whole race, I'd been told by Jeff to pit because of the front wing damage, but DRS had been enabled that lap. So, and De Vries takes it off. We spin across the line, take 11th. Annoying race, but they happen. And Nick De Vries gets driver of the day, but I'll hand you over to podium celebrations.
So Uni Virtuosi have won it, and what a great race it was. So Davide, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and tyre strategy, what has occurred on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
Here come our winning drivers then, out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling race. The drama and excitement are over, and it's time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top 3 today.
Sorry. Well done, Luca Giotto and Mick Schumacher for 2nd, and I think it was Giuliano Alesi in 3rd. I didn't quite take into account who was 3rd. Partially my fault, just partially. But as we get the XP now, we only get 500, so they'll have to get level 8 in the Hungarian race next time.
And now let's take a look at the driver's stand.
But
now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver?
Gap hasn't closed at the top, got 150 points, but with 5 race weekends to go, 240
And here's how
points.
things are shaping up in the
Really?
teams championship. Campos moved to the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the Uni Virtuosi team today as they make their way up the standings. And after all that excitement, I think it's time for a lie down. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.